Morning. Boy, isn't it quiet? I mean, just listen to the silence. What time is it? Oh, 6 o'clock. Woo. Yeah, I was up about 4:30. Actually, you ever have one of those times when you wake up and you just can't get back to sleep? I got up at 2 and I could not settle my mind down and get back to sleep. Should have watched one of my videos. That probably would have put me to sleep. But at any rate, I got my coffee. Yes. Sorry, it's not Seattle's best. I ran out. This is Dunkin' Donut. I got one of them Keurig that makes coffee a cup at a time. So I'm not a big coffee drinker. You know, at the most, I might have 1, maybe 2 cups in the morning. Most of the time 1. And then I'm good to go. I'm fine. I don't have coffee in the evening. If I do anything in the evening, you know, maybe tea. Some kind of raspberry tea, hot tea, or apple cider. Well, I met almost my goal yesterday. If you remember, you will remember because this is tied on to yesterday in the video. The goal was to get the lower nose all welded in on the bus. Actually, it was the grind and spread bondo, but that's going to happen this morning. I was ready to do that. About 4 o'clock. But I don't think the blue jays and the robins and the squirrels or my neighbors would enjoy hearing me going, "Grah!" You know, all that grinding noise, because it really echoes in this garage even though it's insulated. So I figured I'd be nice to Mother Nature and my neighbors. Cleaned the kitchen up, did a little housework, and kind of kept that quiet too, because you know my son, he's probably in bed right now. His schedule is he goes to bed about 5 in the morning. So let me move out of the way so you can kind of see a little bit. But the bus, yeah, today we did more welds, panels in. So I'm going to grind. I'll check it, how level it is. I have what's called shrinking disc. You put them on the end of the grinder. They're steel disc. And you see a high spot, you run it over, it gets hot, and you quench it with water. When I took body and fender repair back in the 70s in an adult career center, Body Man, you know, they started you out, they give you an old beat up fender, and then they beat it up some more with a hammer. And so then from there you learn how to stretch, shrink metal, how to, you know, use this, how to feel the high spots, low spots. Guide coat. Yeah, guide coat existed back then. It was a carpenter's pencil that was, you know, the wide square carpenter pencil. So the hand file, the sanding stick, you put that, give it a hit, and then you take the pencil and you scribble. This is the one time you can get away with scribbling. You couldn't in school. I don't even think kindergarten would allow you to scribble. Even if you scribbled on a coloring book when you were 3, it seemed like people frowned on that. But this is the green light that says, scribble for all you're worth. And man, it felt great. You just, all over that bondo. And then when you sanded it, where the scribble marks were left, that's your low spots. Genius. It wasn't powder that you got from Eastwood or a spray. These were pencils the lumberyard gave you free because it had their advertisement and name on it. So simple. So there's a trick. You don't need to go buy fancy guide coat. Of course, you may have to buy them pencils if they still exist. You go to Menards, you know, they probably make you pay for them. You know, even though they say Menards on them. Or Home Depot, or Lowe's. Maybe a local lumber yard, you know, like Larson's Lumber, or, you know, you can get it where they're locals and they're free. Free guide coat. All right. Again, today I will grind. I want to, you know, I'm not going to perfect it. Just kind of, I got 24 grit on the grinder where it's got a lot of teeth where the Bondo will grip. And then on the outer edge of the metal, I'll go with a finer grit so that when I do the Bondo, it kind of smooths out. We call it Bondo. Actually, it's high quality body filler that, yes, I did buy from Eastwood. And I got their, I forget the name of it. It's kind of new, at least to me. You used to have glazing compound or glazing putty that you'd put over a red oxide lacquer when you had pinholes, but this is a glazing compound that has its own hardener in it. So it's kind of like a nice skim coat that takes care of the deep scratches you may still have left in your body filler. May go that far. Or what I might do is just give it a heavy coat with some, I'll hit the bare metal with some etching primer that I have in the spray can. I use some stuff from Napa. You know, it's in this rattle can. It's pretty expensive. I've had amazing luck with it. I also have it in a gallon container. I just don't, there isn't enough here to justify me mixing up a gallon of it. And then I have their 2K high fill primer. Yeah, I'll probably mix some of that and just give the whole front, you know, a good heavy coat. Just to make sure it's protected from the elements. Then take the bus, go turn it around at an angle and start on the cargo door area. I'll first weld some cross bracing into door jambs. So at the bottom of the A and B pillar, the openings of the cart, it's all rot. When they break through the rot, it doesn't do one of these or tucks in. You know, I kind of keep the parallel opening. That's the plan. I noticed this red flannel. If you don't mind, I'd like to tell you a little story about this colored shirt, type of shirt. Yeah, I'm sorry I'm old when you're old. I found out you have lots of memories and stories. Just as Cutworm and some of the other fellow YouTubers that don't mind sharing them. I had a fishing buddy, very close to him. He was a great guy. I met him when I was in 3rd grade. I moved to this neighborhood, and the thing I thought was fascinating when I was in 3rd grade, what are you, 9 years old? Yeah, I think I was 9, was radio control airplanes. Man, back then, you know, in the 60s, radio control airplanes, and the sound of that motor, even them little old 49 motors, just that high-pitched whine, woo, just get my curiosity going and excited. Well, we moved in, and I kept hearing this motor running out of this garage. And, you know, new neighborhood, didn't know anyone. I was pretty shy back then. I'm still shy. But I got the nerve to walk down. He lived 2 doors down. So I went on the other side of the street, walked 2 doors down, and I was just kind of walking, you know, along the street, nonchalantly, like I was going for a walk, enjoying the weather. And then I'd stare down at the garage that was open, and I heard the motor running. And I'd go a little bit, and then I'd turn back, and it's like, man, this driveway, it just seemed like it was a mile long, because that's what that walk felt like. You know, I didn't know this guy from Adam, you know. So I started walking down this long driveway of his, and he had a carport. You had to go underneath first, you know. It was almost like pearly gates, and I'm crossing through the pearly gates, and after that, back further was his garage. It was a single car garage. The door was open, and he was standing by a workbench, and I could hear this gas motor just running and like the devil. And so I got up there, and it was so loud, I couldn't even, you know, he couldn't hear me. So he walked out, and what a relief. He had a smile this big. And he said, "Do you like radio control airplanes and these gas motors?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Well, come on in." And he explained he was bench testing it. He said, when you buy new ones, you got to break them in. So he had a little motor stand. He had it on in a vise and prop. You know, I was like, man, I thought the whole workbench was going to fly away. At least when I was 9. I mean, it wasn't an old 49. It was a big motor, because he had a very large biplane radio control that the motor went on. Well, that was the beginning of an amazing lifelong friendship. The man never, once I never seen him unhappy. He was a whistler, whistled all the time. You would think he just hit the lottery every time you walked up to him. Positive, happy. It's like, how can a person be this happy? And at 5 in the morning, he was an early riser. You go there 5 in the morning, he's just whistling away, just washed his family station wagon, got the radio on. He loved this song called Mona Lisa. And it seemed like back then the radio played it a lot. And he was always singing, Mona Lisa, Mona Lisa, and just washing that old car. And found out he liked fishing, and he found out I did too. So we became great friends, and the one thing that he taught me how to do, and he was excellent at, was using this. You know, using your mind to be creative and figure it out. Don't let someone spoon feed you. Don't give up because you don't have all the right things. You know, he always taught me, look at what you have and what's available and see if you can make it work. And if for some reason you can't find it somewhere, go to the hardware store and walk around, and eventually you will find something that will work. Nowadays they call it repurposing, or, you know, using something for what it wasn't intended to be used for. So what a lesson, what a life lesson. And he taught me how to stay positive, you know, how to enjoy life, you know, pay attention to the squirrel chasing the blue jays. And he enjoyed coffee too. In the morning, I would come over and we would sit in this back porch and we would watch baby blue jay and baby squirrel chase each other. And the squirrel would hide and the blue jay would fly around and find it and then chirp, and then the squirrel would run and hide again. And it was entertaining. But he loved flannel. Right here. He'd go to the garage, he had this hanging up in his garage. First thing he did was put this on and then click the radio. In his garage, he had one of them salamander heaters, because this was in northern Indiana. But even when he had that, he had another one, red and black, just like this, that was lined. And he would put that on. And so, when I got to be a big boy, and we go fishing, I got me. Yes, sirree. We matched. And unconsciously, in my garage, is this. You know, I didn't, it's this habit, you know. And so when I put this on, yep, I think of my buddy Chief. Lost him to cancer about 3-4 years ago. Called him Chief. He had 6 kids. And so I told him he had a big tribe, so I just called him Chief instead of his last name, and he liked that. So that's my story about Chief, and about someone that had a positive impact on my life growing up. How to be creative, and how to use this, and how to do a happy dance when you figure it out. I mean, we would get something figured out, and he was like, "Whoa, happy dance time!" Yeah, he danced as bad as I did. But I'm going to turn this off. My coffee is probably getting cold. And after that, let's see. Fellas, it's 6:30. I could almost sit here and talk up to the time I can turn the grinder on. But I think I'm limited on how much time I'm allowed on the video. I may have to make this part 2, because I did kind of ramble on here. Well, we'll see you later in the end of the day, and with more positive results. And I hope you enjoy your Saturday. We're having beautiful weather here in Iowa for a Saturday. It's been a long time coming, fellas, it really has. But it's here. So, with that, I'm going to shut this off, and Busman's going to get to work. We'll see you later. Bye.